Okay, so basically, an Earth-worshipping cult has decided to thaw out a giant prehistoric monster to smash humanity in its cities because they're wrecking the environment. No, you heard me right. Humanity is trashing the planet, so now a monster is going to trash the planet. The game is fully aware of the irony and dials it up to 11. The story, what there is of it, takes some unusual left and right turns fairly frequently. It's fun enough stuff, but let's be honest, you're here to do this. Yes, this is obviously a modern take on Rampage. Faster and more arcade feeling perhaps, wider but not necessarily longer, levels only take a few minutes apiece. Every building is made of blocks that react to 2D physics, as such if you demolish the side of a building, it falls in the correct direction, most of the time, and therefore can be made to fall into another building with entertainingly destructive results. Also, be aware there is profanity throughout. None of it is voiced, but still, for all the cartoony violence and nonsensical story, it's surprisingly sweary. Usually you're required to kill a certain number of people and cause a certain percentage of damage to the level. Some levels switch this formula up by having you smash helicopters instead, which is tricky because they fly through the air above you. That forces you to climb up a building and leap onto them, or throw and kick things into their whirling blades. All of this results in blood and debris everywhere. Pixelated of course, but like the swearing, it is very much in your face and doesn't feel the need to apologise. And it won't. In an effort to prevent the campaign getting stale, you'll also be asked to do other things, such as smash only the red buildings, while leaving the blue building standing, which presents a much more interesting challenge of wrecking stuff in a highly controlled way. If you can. You'll do all of this with one of 4 monsters, and yes, the game supports 4-player co-op. Each monster handles exactly the same except for their ultimate attack, which is unique to them. The controls on the keyboard are perfectly fine. WASD moves you around as usual. The number pad keys work the combat. 0 punches, 1 eats a human, 2 launches your ultimate, 3 kicks things a good distance. Things can get a bit complicated though control wise. Holding down and pressing kick picks up a person instead. As a prelude to throwing them, similar to the kick, but still. Monsters are also a bit like Cole from the Infamous series. They have magnetic grip. They grab things they pass by automatically and won't fall through buildings or aircraft unless you hold down. They also auto-jump when they go above the top of a building, so no standing on the rooftops allowed. None of this is a deal breaker, but it can be tricky to remember all of it in the heat of the moment, especially when lots of gunfire and later missiles get thrown your way. Levels only last about less than 5 minutes, so it's tricky to get enough practice to adapt to these systems. Having said that, kicking cars into buildings never gets old. One level that did get old though was the one where you have to throw kittens and puppies into a cage held by a helicopter without destroying the building itself. Whoa, that took some doing. The game's campaign lasts about 3 hours, and even on my relatively modest laptop it runs pretty well and rarely dips below 60 frames a second. You have to wreck the whole screen simultaneously to notice any drops. There is also endless mode, but I don't recommend playing it right after you've played through the campaign. Since the campaign has various objectives and endless doesn't, it could come off as boring by comparison otherwise. Might be better for chaotic multiplayer sessions. At 13 quid, it is a bit overpriced. I feel like 8 or 10 quid would have been fairer. I actually got it in one of Steam's frequent sales for 5 quid, so I'm not complaining. It's a fun game to throw on for a short while, and contrary to what the story says, don't expect anything deep and moving. It's definitely taking the piss.